So the Game Awards this year was monumental. Not only did we see some amazing performances and talented creators getting well-deserved acknowledgements for their works, we got a handful of world premieres that has me absolutely hyped. Final Fantasy XVI DLC shadow dropped? I see you. And I'm not even going to pretend like Kojima and Peele collaborating hasn't gotten me sweating. But Capcom absolutely kicked down the door and stole the show just before announcing Game of the Year. The last world premiere of the night debuted the trailer for the 6th Monster Hunter game in the series, and the first mainline game since Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Wilds. My wife and I, like many Monster Hunter fans, absolutely lost our minds. That is, until I realized just what a mistake this is. Capcom is currently celebrating their 40th anniversary. A lot of stellar childhood memories come from Capcom, whether it was Mega Man, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, or Monster Hunter. They have a lot of longevity in the business, and with Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary coming up in March of 2024, I'm actually baffled by the 2025 release. But then we get from Monster Hunter World to Monster Hunter Wilds, where we're seeing a 7+ year jump. 6, if you consider Iceborne so content-rich, it qualifies as its own standalone game, and sure, if we're comparing releases relative to console releases, then yeah, of course, you could say, what's the problem with Monster Hunter Wilds releasing 5 years after the PS5 and Series X, when World released 5 years after the PS4? To which I say, 2016, the release of the PS4 Pro. And Sony had already had a refresh of their hardware on the market with significantly more robust graphical compute power almost 2 years before World's release. In an interview with Sony, Ryozo Sugimoto mentions that, quote, "The team is working hard using the power of the PlayStation 5 to the fullest," end quote. Which is already aging hardware, barely able to keep pace with modern games in the 4K segment. Final Fantasy XVI, for instance, was a fantastic example of this, which cannot hit a stable 30 FPS in its resolution mode. With games on the market like FF16, Spider-Man 2, and even Wild Hearts driving the PS5 to its limits already, my biggest concern here is one of two outcomes. One, the console experience both on Xbox and PlayStation is going to suffer greatly, or two, the lift in graphics will only be a modest step up from Monster Hunter World to account for the limitations of this generation's aging hardware. Now certainly, it's fair to mention that there are a lot of PS5 Pro and mid-generation hardware refresh for the Xbox rumors out there, but we've yet to see official announcements from Sony and Microsoft. And it is also fair to mention that Capcom did push out a high-res texture pack for PC gamers with high-end hardware to play Monster Hunter World at an even higher graphical fidelity. But high-res textures are a long-time standard by now. Gaming has moved toward more graphically intensive immersion elements such as ray tracing, particle effects, and volumetric effects that have drastically heavier impact on the hardware than a mere texture pack would. Without significantly more powerful hardware on the market to develop for, like when World was being developed, I worry that Wilds won't feel like a next-gen upgrade and more like a current-gen side grade with a dodgy frame rate. And maybe Capcom already has the PS5 Pro or new Xbox SDKs and has been developing for that already. Or maybe as fans, Monster Hunter isn't about the highest degree of visual experience and instead about that addictive risk-reward balance in the gather, craft, and hunt gameplay loop. But hear me out when I say World was something unique, something truly special. It was something revolutionary for the IP and Capcom as a whole, becoming their best-selling game of all time. It's what brought Monster Hunter to the core gamer demographic where it had once been overshadowed. It embraced its title and crafted a canvas of beautifully lush brush strokes to paint a world that truly felt alive, with gameplay elements stitching it together so cohesively that one part blends seamlessly into the next. This was truly a step forward for the Monster Hunter series. As a passionate fan of World and Monster Hunter as a whole, I would be saddened to see the current generation hardware be the limitation to the talent and expression of the limitless potential that Wilds could be. I want so badly for this to be the definitive mainline Monster Hunter game that will bring that same life and longevity that cemented World as a special place in our hearts back in 2018. But what do you think? Will Wilds really bring that next-gen experience to the Monster Hunter franchise? Does it even matter so long as the gameplay is fun? And will Capcom's mainline team be able to topple that behemoth that is their crowning achievement in Monster Hunter World? Do you think that Monster Hunter Wilds will really step it up in player experience? Let me know in the comments. I'm Jade. I'll be covering updates on Wilds as we get more information, and I'll see you in the next video.